DSR2 Radio, your home for underground hip-hop, rap, and R&B. Studio 57 Radio.
Yo, 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 what up, though? How you living, rebels? I hope you are ready. We are back and at it again with another 2-hour debacle known as Detroit Sports Radio Rebels, or as we affectionately refer to as DSR2. So, I hope you guys are ready. We're going to social media, Studio 57 Radio across the board, so get in on it, and we'll have a text line up for you, so there is no excuse not to get in on the conversation. Please, please, please be part of the show. Let's get this thing rolling. We've got NFL, we got a little NBA, and there's some stuff in Detroit sports to chit-chat about when it comes to some things and some stuff, so of course we'll do that, but we would be remiss if we didn't speak on the Final Four. So let's get this thing rolling. Without further ado, let's do the do that we do at DSR2. I am Scrappy, and here's your host, the man, the myth, the legend, Johnny the Moose.
Hey, we're back here for another edition of DSR2 on this last Wednesday of March. We've got the Final Four this weekend. I think we got the Masters coming up as well. Not this weekend, but next weekend. Yeah. So we got lots here to talk about. As we said, a little snippet that dropped on Monday here. We'll get into that as well regarding Detroit and the NFL is on there. And we got the NBA action going on there. And we promised not to slap the shit out of each other.
Oh, we did? I don't remember signing up for that. No, I'm just kidding. Of course we won't.
Because if it's going down, I ain't using no open hand on there.
Oh, I might, but it'll just be the palm. That shit ain't fun.
Listen, man, I'll go like turn on your ass.
I've got shit. Like, I'll grab something off the wall. Like, I don't care. Like, y'all know I'm from the hood. I don't give a shit. I'll grab anything. There ain't no rules in fighting. Like, if I were to get into if my real life fight was a wrestling match, it would be a death match, like an exploding death match, like light tube type scenario, because I will grab the nearest object and plug you with it with no shame. So don't literally, if you're going to fuck with me to a point where I'm going to go blows, the last thing I want to do is hurt my hand.
Yeah.
So I'll just grab a chair. There's a few stools at a few venues here locally that were never the same. We'll just say, or actually, I would say removed from the premises via the dumpster. But it's so yeah. Violence is never the answer, though. Really, let's be honest about it. So that would level, and we'll have fun with that today.
But you know what?
Don't get me wrong.
We on here, but as I quote from Dave Chappelle's show, does Wayne Brady have to choke a bitch?
Yeah, right.
Oh shit! It's Wayne Brady.
It's Wayne Brady. Well, that's the thing too, man. Like I love it, and I get it. Everybody thinks it was a skit, it was a work, it was a thing. No, it's not. Like I could break it down frame by frame because I know exactly what happened. And we talked about it, Moose.
Yes.
The way I said it, the way it went down, there's no other way it could have went down in those moments. As you see, every inch of footage is there like you can't deny it. So
God love the Australian and Japan feed.
Yes, because they didn't miss.
They didn't wimp out on there. They don't have no FCC to go by.
Oh, that's amazing. So yeah, so it was one of those things where it was it made for amazing television. Like if you were watching it in the moment, it's great for fucking 10-second memes and things like that. That is like some of the greatest meme work I've like ever seen. But no, it was not a work. Like even Chris thought it was a work up until that moment. My man went to his seat and started MFing him. Like then he's like, okay, now it's real. And then
he looked over to the producers.
Yeah.
And all right, I'll keep my mouth shut.
He was a pro, dude. I mean, that dude was as pro as anybody I've ever seen in a situation anywhere near that. And all I could do is commend him, dude. Just a bad dude. Just a bad dude. And Will Smith looked like an ass, and he's got his own demons to deal with, and that's like a whole nother topic that you could branch it. We could do a whole podcast on that, right? Yes. Because let's think of the dynamic.
That'd be a notorious POD.
Yeah, exactly, dude. That should be on the notorious POD because, like, dude, like it's like break down the layers of this effing onion, right? Like he told a joke and got attacked on stage and nobody did anything,
right?
Like, okay, so. Now the standard is set. Every comedian's got to worry about someone rushing the stage now at every show, in every theater, every bar, and every venue.
Yes,
that they have to worry about that now, that's a problem. So so to me, there's that layer. Then there's the why did he have that mental breakdown? That joke wasn't justifiable for that kind of breakdown. It just wasn't. And so what happened there? And then you've got all those layers, right? And then you've got the fallout. Like, why did he act like that? Like, what's going on? And then now you start getting into mental health issues and what men put up with. Like, there's a rabbit hole of all kinds of layers of different things and topics that come off of that 15 seconds of television.
Yeah.
And that it's crazy how we dissect everything like that. That's what we do. And, that's the thing with everybody that's in entertainment. And it's easy for me to say sitting here, but I'm going to tell you guys, I've been there as far as been an entertainer and have been, subject to critiquing. I mean, that's how this works. And so if you are in any form of entertainment, any form, music, television, movies, whatever you're into, you're an athlete, pro wrestling. I mean, that's athlete. That falls under athlete and actor too, probably. If you're into that thing and you've got fame and you've got that kind of stuff, there is going to be everybody has got an opinion,
right?
And most people that do this do whatever they do, whether it be whether they're an actor, athlete, whatever it is, whatever celebrity, you can't do what I do, so you can't critique. That is not how the world works. No. Everybody's going to have a voice and everybody's going to say, and you are going, the more the more people that know who you are and the more people that have access to your work and have access to what you do, the more people will critique. That's how it works. If only 6 people know you, then only 6 people will critique. And if they're all your friends, it'll be good and your bubble will be safe. But that's not how the world works. It's just not. And so that's the problem I have. If you're in entertainment and you're at a comedy show and you're in the front effing row, dude, you are a prime target.
You pay to be the prime target.
You know what I'm
saying?
saying?
You know what you're getting into when you walk into a comedy show.
Come on, like so like to me, there's just so much to so many different layers. I don't want to hear it. You do something that you say you love. It's the thing that you love the most, and you get paid an enormous amount of money to do it. And the only side effect is that people that don't affect your paycheck, that don't know your life, where you live, your heart, your friends, or your family, they don't know you from a fucking hole in the ground. They have something to say about you, and that's the fucking problem?
Yeah.
Like, come on, dude. No. You know what the problem is? How you react.
Right.
Because if I sit back and say, oh, you're garbage and you're this and you're that, why do you fucking care? The last time you checked your bank account, it had way more zeros than I'll ever see.
Yeah.
Why do you fucking care? You live in a whole nother fucking part of the country in an area I couldn't even access. Right. And you're worried about me? Like, shut up, dude. How insecure and effed up in your head are you that you're worried about people critiquing a job that is exactly that? It's put out there for critiquing.
Yes.
That's what it is. It doesn't matter what you do. If you fucking paint something, you write a book, you make a movie, you write an album, it doesn't matter. Anything that you put out that's creative for public consumption will be consumed by the public, and there is a consequence to that. Dude, stop it. I don't care what industry you're in. I don't care if you're a pro wrestler and calling fans marks and they don't know shit and they can't say anything about wrestling because they never been in the ring and never took a pump. Shut up. You sound like a clown when you're an athlete, a football player, and you say, oh, you couldn't do what I do. No, you're a clown. Stop. Don't do that. You are better than that. Stop doing that. It's not a good look. And it's the same thing for all kind of walks of life, man. Stop. If you do something and you put something out there, people are going to look at it. They're going to critique it. They're going to judge it. Why do you care?
Yeah.
That's the issue. The issue isn't that they're critiquing it. The issue is, why do you care?
Yeah.
And so that's the problem. You can't take a joke because you care about somebody that said something that is nothing. It means nothing. But it obviously it hurt your butthole. Stop.
Yeah.
Ego is a horrible thing sometimes. You know, it protects you, but it's also pretty stupid sometimes. You know, you have to have a sensible level of ego. And all these cats that are in entertainment, you have to have an elevated ego to get there. So it's just natural. So, you know, they live in a different world than like the average cat. And this is the kind of stuff that happens. You mentally, you know, can't handle all those things for that length of time and that's what you saw with Will. He can't handle all this shit that's going on. It's not just people critiquing and saying shit. He's got all these other personal things going on. If it was only that, he wouldn't care, right? So we know. So look, that's the layers I'm talking about with this onion, this rabbit hole we could go down. It would totally be a notorious POD. And maybe we will do that sometime when we got a minute. That would be worth bringing that back. Jesus. Just because of that, what you could talk about. So like, that's where the conversation needs to be. And it won't be for a while till he can kind of own what happened. You know what I'm saying? He made excuses.
Right.
I put out if you guys get a chance, go to this.
Try to justify what he did.
Yeah.
That's all it was.
Go to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar put out a great quote.
That was excellent.
And I put that on our social media there. So Studio 57 Radio, go to the Facebook page and it's on there. And it was spot on with just like how, so he's got to work on himself, get it together. And you know what, to be honest with you, if anybody can, it'll be this guy. I mean, he's got all the resources, I'd imagine. He's super intelligent. I don't know that I've never heard of him being like an idiot.
No.
You know, I've always heard that he's super smart and he knows what he's doing. And and I would think at his age, that hopefully he found this breaking point, and he will get he'll get himself together, because at this point now it's pretty obvious that there's other issues, because there's no way that joke sets anybody off like that. So yeah, he's got if he doesn't get it addressed, then it's on him now. And so, but we'll see. It's one of those things it's fun, but we could joke and do memes and get into it and whatever, but in the end it is a human being, and but when you're a part, once again, it falls back to the consequences of what you're doing. So I wouldn't want to be the clown that's like uber disrespectful, but this was a colleague that made a slightly distasteful joke that he didn't even realize was distasteful until after the fact.
I didn't even realize it was distasteful till after.
The only reason I knew, because she just put out this stupid video and shit just before the Oscars about how, she's like, I don't care what people think about this bald head, and was talking about her alopecia. And she was like, I'm black and I'm proud and I got my bald head and I don't care. And she was like being that strong woman, independent black woman with the bald head. And she was all hyped like that. And she put a thing out on her social media, and they played it. It hit, E.T. and all that dumb stuff before the Oscars.
I don't watch any of that crap.
I don't either, but it hits the social media. It comes up on the social media stuff because of my So she put all that stuff out there already. Yeah. Well, you can tell by the look on her face that wasn't quite real. So the hypocrisy is real. That's what I'm saying. Like, people are gonna, when you put stuff out there, everybody's gonna look at it. Moose, I get poop, man. Look, I'll send y'all the inbox I got.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I get into it. I go down the rabbit hole every once in a while.
Moose's, get into Moose's Twitter feed every once in a while. Yeah,
yeah. Go ahead, pick on somebody on there. Go ahead, make fun of Isaiah Thomas, and you think John Stockton's better. I'll let you have it.
So
I did. It was fun.
So
it just showed a clown was a clown.
I'm just saying, there's just so whatever. Super fun stuff going on in sports, though, so we don't really have to get into all the nonsense. But it's funny that the Chris Rock concerts, they'll be all sold. Every show will be sold out. Him and Kevin Hart.
Yeah. The secondary. Can you imagine if you got tickets in the secondary market?
Yeah,
also goes,
yeah,
man, I'll give you $1,000 for those 2 tickets. Here you go.
Yeah, they probably went up big time. I would, if I could get reasonably priced tickets, I would go see, because I would just love to, especially because I know how a Detroit show works. He ain't gonna be able to leave without, commenting on it. He's not getting out.
You're not letting him out until they want to hear it.
Dude, I know that you see Woodward right out them doors of the Fox Theater, my friend, because I imagine that's where they would be.
Yeah.
You're not hitting that street until you got something, till you speak on the issue. And that's just all that's gonna be.
And I've watched tons of those specials, especially on it when he was on HBO and I just freaking absolutely thought Chris Rock was freaking hysterical, man.
So Chris Rock, I've loved him from his early days, of course. The same thing with like Dave Chappelle and all these other kind of comics that almost came up like secondary, like people didn't think nothing about him at first. I remember seeing them when they were all young. Chris Rock was one of them, and he just, shit. I'll sit and watch CB4 still. You know what I mean? Like one of his early movies. You know what I'm saying? Like, so like, and to me he was well into his career at that point, because I had seen him doing goofy stuff and all that.
You want to begin, you're going to get New Jack City, man. He was Pookie.
Yeah. And just so don't act like he can't do that.
Fresh Prince smack Pookie.
Yeah. Well, he's got a good range of stuff that he's done, and then you think now he just did the new Saw like spinoff.
Yeah, I heard that wasn't very good.
It wasn't great. He was involved too much probably in like the production of it all, and it wasn't great. Because I don't think any of the Saws would be critically acclaimed anyway ever. But then you kind of didn't, you didn't really capitalize on the fan base with the way that was laid out. But just the range of stuff that he's done, like, I don't know, he's underestimated and kind of downplayed for what he does and what he's contributed to the business. And he was an effing pro, man. Just an effing pro. So as much as everybody's going to goof on Will and it's going to be all about that, we should be really spending time. And that's the other thing that ticks me off about that whole situation. No one asked how Chris was or what happened with him.
Yeah.
Nobody demanded him to, give an apology to him. And then you're telling me you asked him to leave, but he didn't leave. Well, then fucking remove him.
Right.
Like, what's the problem?
You got security.
Yeah, like, come on, man. Like, so I don't get it. So I get why Chris Rock dipped and left after that, because he had to he stayed professional and he needed to remain professional, and he probably had to leave to do it.
And what sucks is because it was for the documentary, and it took all the it took everything away from Questlove and The Summer of Soul, which is a great documentary. I watched it on Netflix on there. Absolutely spectacular. Highly recommended.
What a douchebag.
Good. Yes. Of course, I always like Questlove. So.
Yes, but that's kind of my point. Crazy things can happen. Like toxic people can turn good people into douchebags, and that's what I feel like I'm watching right before my very eyes play out on TV and public. And that is where that line kind of is drawn for me. When you start talking about it, because I'm already getting it. I see you guys light me up. When you're in the public light, that's where the line's drawn, right? Like none of that shit should be played out in public. The problem, though, he should have is not with the public. It's who put that shit out there. And that's his wife.
Yep.
Like, his wife put that shit out in the public. Like, and you guys put that shit out in the public. And he did that shit on live television with whatever 20 million people watching. So, I don't know. You can't do that. So, you don't want to. So that's where the line should be drawn, as far as I'm concerned. And that's why I don't really want to get in on too much of that. But I would talk about the mental health angle. That would be the conversation that you have there, is his mental health and state and how it got there. And that's the conversation that needs to be had next. But I am not qualified. I would just be like a dumbass with a microphone talking shit. But, I don't know. I think it's pretty elementary, basic psychology stuff that he can get with somebody and get taken care of. So all well wishes to everybody that it's all done, and they can get their self together, because having a breakdown like that in public is the public view like that is that's something crazy. But athletes do it all the time, right?
Yeah.
AB did his little meltdown on the field this year. Like, mental health is a real thing, guys. We've talked about it before. We've hammered it here before. Of course,
now he wants to come to Cleveland and play with Cooper and Watson.
Well, he just thinks if he goes there and he's around a bunch of criminals, no one will pay attention to him.
Would I even sign him and take a chance on him again? The bullshit factor is so beyond the talent level at this point.
If he can't make it work in these places he's been, like, who's got it better than Tampa and New England? Like when he was there with Brady,
right?
When he was following Brady around, you're not going to get much better than those situations. Who's got it better? Who's going to keep him under wraps? Like, it's only going to get worse. Like, it doesn't look. You can't run away from yourself.
No.
Let's just start right there. You can't run away from yourself. He can go to a million teams, and AB can't outrun AB. No matter how fast he thinks he is, no matter how slick he thinks he is, no matter where he goes, no matter what happens, AB cannot outrun AB. And that is going to be the issue until AB deals with AB. The problem is he's not going to, and so he's not going to play. Now, if he had shown attrition and showed that he would do something like that, then he would have done something by now, and he would have, be on his road to redemption. But none of that is happening. Quite the opposite. So I don't see him having an epiphany anytime that it'll matter to his playing career.
So we got the Final Four this weekend. We got Kansas versus Villanova for the early game, and then we got Duke and North Carolina on there. The big rivalry out there for college basketball on there.
Can we reseed it and just have that one be the
on there with it? Personally, I'm rooting for North Carolina in the worst possible way. I want Krzyzewski to go down. I don't want him to win his championship and ride off in the sunset like bullshit.
See,
He's such a hypocrite.
I agree. Like, I don't like him, and he's a douche. But like, I kind of look at it a little different in the fact that, like, the reason that it's happening is because those damn kids are making it happen.
Right. Oh, they're playing great. I mean,
And like, they're balling out for this dude because they know that this is a Disney movie.
oh yeah.
Whether you like him or not, this is a Disney movie. So like, is it going to play out and be like a happy Disney movie, or is it going to be like, and fall a little flat? So I kind of want. I don't mind the Disney movie, to be honest with you, because
I want a little flat because remember, even the Bad News Bears lost the final game to the Yankees.
I mean, sure. I mean, I guess. But if you
Not that terrible remake with Billy Bob Thornton. We're talking the original one with Walter Matthau.
right, but if you don't even get there, you can't.
No,
So-
on there. But I want to again, like, of all people on there, to just end the career and send him home would be North. I mean, again, he was supposed to have this big, last home game at Cameron, and it's big kumbaya. And North Carolina spoiled that and they ended up beating the hell out of them in the final regular season game too. So.
Well, see, and that's why I think this would be the great story. This is the Disney
redemption?
story. Yeah, you win this game and then you lose in the championship. That's your Bad News Bears.
Yeah.
That is your Disney story.
But then again,
so they win this one. So I'm going about Disney law. That Disney law might play in our
But
in our
what it says
bracket
is
next
what
year.
happens is it could be Kansas winning the damn title, and I don't want that to happen either.
Well, yeah, but I mean, at this point, what choice do you have? I mean,
Well, I love to see Villanova do it, but they've lost their one guard who tore his ACL in the regional finals on there. I would say Villanova's got a shot on there.
yeah, but
I think Kansas City's going to pull it up, but Villanova on there again right now. I think Jay Wright's possibly. I mean, if Villanova wins their third title in 6 years, then Jay Wright goes in the upper echelon as he's the best college coach going out there right now.
right.
With it. Bill Self, who should have been fired or in jail with the whole Adidas scandal and everything
sure.
with it,
Yeah,
is still there. And God, again, do I want Villanova to win? Oh God, yes, because I can't stand Bill Self on there again with that. So I mean, we always joke about the tournament doesn't start until Kansas flames out. Damn it, they're in the Final Four. You rat bastards! You know who had Kansas winning? Barred from accounting that bitch.
Yes, she did.
So we got. And again, we honored, and again, normally we honor, but yeah, getting also we got this, so it's a good honor. I like the fact that North Carolina ended St. Pete's, put them out the minutes. We didn't have to hear them anymore.
Well, yes, if they get to the Final Four, I'm afraid you just see like a one-sided affair, right? Like the Cinderella teams, it's nice, but you can't go all the way. Like, I mean, unless you win it all. I feel like the closer you get to the championship game, you just have matchup issues, and it was fun. I liked, like, it just that destroyed everybody's bracket, but for the most part, of course, Barb in accounting and a couple other people, but I still like the Cinderella story. I still like when you see a team go pretty deep, but you're right. This was the round they needed to get kind of tapped, and boy, did they.
Yeah.
They didn't even get 50 points, man.
They got taken out to the woodshed.
Yeah.
I mean, it was basically over before halftime.
Yep.
So.
Sure wouldn't want to see that in a Final Four game. So
I'm going to have to take this for a work call.
Oh,
I'll be
snap.
right back.
Johnny the Moose running with it. So yeah, I'm super stoked about the way the tournament kind of rolls and stuff like that. I love all the crazy different nuances of all the different Cinderellas like we had this year. We had a couple of them, it felt like, and they just were move. So
Yeah, went right from the.
it was like every time they did something, the bracket was like completely busted.
Yeah.
So the Moose is like handling some other business here. Make sure I got him muted out, or he'd have been part of the conversation here. So So yeah, next year when we do the bracket, we are going to do a Barb from Accounting bracket, and I think using Disney lore, using mascots, team colors, and things like that, we will able to really nail the bracket because it's been a wild run. But in the end, you still have blue blood, a good percentage of blue bloods in this Final Four, and that's kind of how it works. The only thing that bums me out about it is, like Moose was speaking on just a couple minutes ago, Villanova losing their guard. To me, then the competitive balance kind of gets off there, and so that's kind of a bummer. But you could definitely that rivalry game. Well, will these games start like tomorrow or this weekend or whatever? Okay. I think this weekend. Anyway, the Duke North Carolina game, that's going to be fun. So there's still a couple of good games left to be had, even though we're dealing with that situation. All right,
I'm back.
All right, you're back.
Yeah.
So anyway, I was just talking about how because we were talking about the Cinderella teams, and I love how that is, even though our brackets were all busted. And if you didn't get busted with one, it seemed like this year you got busted in all kinds of different places with teams kind of upsets. It seemed like there was a lot
of upsets on there, but again, for like the 15th seed making it to the Elite Eight is a huge. I mean, I don't think that's ever happened.
Well, and that's kind of my point, is that like that's what's so fun about the different crazy nuances of this tournament, because it's just a one and done scenario. So yeah, I'm a little bummed, that Villanova, their guard is injured and kind of messes with the balance of, the competitive balance a little bit because of it. But, now that you're in the Final Four and you've gotten all the Cinderellas out and you've kind of got, there's still blue bloods for the most part,
right?
In the Final Four here, so you got what you're supposed to get in the end, and you got all this other craziness along the way, which is super fun. So to me, this is why the tournament's so damn popular. But and this is why I'm going to use all these crazy ass methods when it comes to our bracket next year when we do our Barb from Accounting bracket.
Yep.
Because
we're going to find a way to get that.
I'm convinced we will use mascots, we'll use team colors, and we will use Disney lore. Like, yes. If this story makes sense and falls into Disney lore, then this is how we're going to.
But our luck on there, that's the year it's going to go all chalk.
Mm-hmm. Yes. But see that if I do a bracket of integrity, then I might go okay.
We're all Well, then it's all.
Well, then we're screwed too because I'll
do one bracket of integrity, then the other one bracket of.
Yeah, bracket of whatever.
Debauchery.
Yeah, there we go.
But yeah, honor with that, and again, you're not even just that with the honor. You got the women's Final Four, which is actually pretty good. I mean, that game Monday night was freaking one of the best damn games on there. I mean,
oh yeah,
I clicked over at basically in overtime. I'm like, oh shit, I'm gonna watch this, man. It's an overtime, and oh my god, was that fun?
Oh, great game. Double overtime, right?
Yeah, double overtime.
And Paige Beckers took over at the end, of course, like she do, and all. I'm telling you, man, we were waxing about her a little bit before we started the show, and she's definitely. To me, and I love my girl in Iowa too. She came out and played good this year. I forget her name now. All of a sudden, my brain's retarded. But Paige Beckers, Beckers was. We were on her as a freshman last year. She is. Both them girls are gonna light up the WNBA when they go there. I think they'll kind of reinsurge that league a little bit. Not like they're gonna all of a sudden be like. Filling stadiums and all this crazy nonsense. But I think there'll definitely be an uptick in their fan base with when those two ladies hit the league because they're both really good. And Paige Becker showed you why in double overtime. And she's been gone with an injury, and to kind of come back and perform the way I don't know. To me, you could make an argument that she's a top 5 or 10 like collegiate basketball player, regardless of men's or women's, and just because of the way she plays, man. And so, yeah, congrats to them. What a great game. You caught it on double overtime. I think I fell asleep on it and didn't make it that far. I can't remember. I think that's what happened to me. But I did catch all the highlights, of course, and then I started searching for stuff, more footage of the game that I could find because, like I said, we've been on the Beckers bandwagon since she was a freshman. So very cool stuff. Michigan bowed out of the tournament there, the women's tournament, but, it is what it is. Still, like you said, good games going on over there. And I expect some good games out of the men's tournament, too, even with the Villanova situation kind of not doing so well. What you clicking at over there, man? You hurting your little thumbs over there?
I'm working out a work deal here.
Still working while we're working.
Still working.
He's double dipping.
I got a $610,000 house deal trying to.
Oh snap! Y'all need to flip that house. To get a hold of, man. Get a hold of Moose.
So yeah, I mean it's. Yeah, I mean again, really is the game's out there, and it's like with it. On there, and again, Michigan came up short on there, losing to Louisville. They just ran out of gas in that, and really the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
With that, so yeah,
it was
again nice run there by the Wolverines there. I mean, the women's team. So yeah, I mean with it, Michigan makes it to 2 tournaments and gets decent. I mean the men get to the Sweet 16.
They both did pretty good, and
of course the hockey teams in the final in the Frozen Four.
Yeah. Yeah, those universities do pretty good, even if the men's football is like probably the predominantly watched or focused on maybe by the public. The university does well in all kinds of
all their sports on
there.
They're probably one of the best. I mean, again, if you look on, especially with their sports on there, again, the individual-wise, women's swim actually got 2 national champions. Men's wrestling got a national champion in 125-pound weight class. So, yeah. Yep. I mean, you look at under, if you go at the end of the year and go, who's got the best sports program for University of Michigan's got to be up there between all their sports, how they excel at.
Sure.
With there. But, yeah, I mean, the NCAA, the tournament's been good to watch and everything with it. And, again, I just kind of irritated because, again, the Final Four is on TBS. It's like, why can't it be on CBS, dude? CBS, you paid how much money?
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know.
Who watches what you have on Saturday night on your network? Nobody. Nothing. There's nothing on. Might as well just throw the Final Four on.
Well, I think it's one of those things where,
I think Paramount owns part of TBS now, too.
So it's all about your contracts and your deals and who paid for what. And gosh, it gets muddy. It gets really muddy. So it is what it is. But I agree with you. That's the one thing as a viewer I take a little issue with is how hard it can be to find some of these games. And this is my issue with it, really, is since they've expanded to the 64 or whatever, and you've got all these different networks trying to cover all these games at once. When did we start doing it? It feels like it wasn't that long ago that we started doing it, but it's been long enough.
It's been about the last 15 years.
Right, that's what I'm saying. It's been long enough that they should have this shit figured out.
Well, you know what the best thing about it now is?
And it bothers me that it's
with the phone, and if you got a tablet, they've got a great app, the March Madness app on there. Just boom, clicking on there. Oh, I want to watch that game. Bam, I just click over and I can watch it right from my phone.
Yeah.
For those that are streaming wise on there, it's so easy.
Right.
They really went out of their way to make this app work well on there. So I will give them credence on that. I think did a nice job. So. Yeah, I mean, overall, it's been a pretty good series. I mean, the officiating it's been suspect at times on there, especially when Gonzaga got knocked out. The Chet Holmgren, the 3 fouls were basically just standing there and straight up, and they're calling a foul for like a blocking. Right. Dude didn't move. He's set. He's not. Arms are straight up in the air.
Right.
He's got that. That's bullshit.
Yeah.
And they called him 3 straight times for that. It's not his fault he's 7-1.
Yeah, what are you supposed to do?
Yeah.
It's one of those things where I know they try to do as much as they can to, So, and we'll talk about the NFL's version of this in a minute, but they try to do everything to make the offense, the main focus. And it just feels like that even when they're officiating, the officials are kind of always you get away with more on offense.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like if you travel, you might get away with the travel, but you're not getting away with a hand check.
No.
It's crazy. It's just weird. So, I don't know, whatever.
So we got,
but but we could do that all the time, Moose. Right? It's just people, and how good are these officials? Sometimes, how much experience do they have? Have they been in this crew before? Because if they're not working together, that can be an issue too, and all those kinds of things all play into why you have kind of like lame officiating every once in a while. But we don't. Hey, I'm not a big blame it on officiating as far as wins or losses, but I will blame it on officiating if it's unwatchable. Sometimes that bothers me even more than if they blow a call during the game, because I mean, like that stuff's gonna happen. But when like they officiate a game over and over a certain way where it just becomes unwatchable, that's really the issue for me personally. And so not too much of that in the tournament, I don't think, though we did have a couple of games that were rough. So but anyway, we got to hear some cool stuff here locally because I like that. And we'll get into the NFL draft situation because that was uber cool.
Yeah.
But I want to get a consensus from people and their take on the Hard Knocks. So, and I want everybody to kind of think about this for a second, especially my out of market cats, because most of you really are out of market.
Right.
We're Detroit based, but you guys aren't. But is there anything that draws you to watch Hard Knocks when it comes to the Lions, right? Like we talked about it before, Moose, when we want to see Hard Knocks, I want to see the most dysfunctional locker room that's available, or I want to see the biggest superstars or the biggest whatever, this, that, and the other, whatever your thing is. Does Detroit have a thing that draws people to watch Hard Knocks? I kind of want everybody to think about it for a minute. Text lines available. We're available on social media. Studio 57 Radio across the board. We're on the YouTube. I'll try to get over there and take a look. But I'll put the text line up for you if you want to get in on the conversation as well. It's right in front of me, so we can have at it. If you think, and then what is it? Like what would make you watch Hard Knocks? Is it just because it's Hard Knocks, or is there something about Detroit? Now, if you're in Detroit market, I get why you watch it, right? It's home team. It could be just the answer. But if you're out of market, why would you? And that's the NFL's got to think about that, right? Like, who wants to watch it overall when they pick these teams? Text line 313-307-5340. Any other topics you want to get into, we can do that as well. But, Moose, what do you think about Hard Knocks? Do you think that other people outside the market are going to get into it? And if so, why? If not, why? So I want to hear from you guys as well. Me and Moose are going to kind of tackle this thing, but we're available, Studio 57 Radio, social media, all across the board. 313-307-5340 is our text line. Get in on it, and anything else you want to chat about, of course, the show is yours. We're just steering the ship. But, Moose, when you look at the Lions and you start thinking, we talk about, we entertain me, right? That's what we do here, right? That's what we want. We want to be entertained. So is there anything, think outside our Detroit bubble, Moose. If you're not a Detroit fan, because we cover Detroit and we know Detroit because we're here in Detroit, and you get the more accurate stuff about Detroit from us than these other cats. But we try to keep it national, right? We don't talk Detroit constantly. So try to think outside the Detroit box. If you're not from Detroit, you don't live in Detroit, you got no ties to Detroit, why in the F are you watching Hard Knocks this season, Moose?
You're probably if you're outside that, you're probably hoping it's going to be an unmitigated train wreck.
But so obviously, I think that it's either going to be a train wreck or there's a great athlete that you want to see, a great young player. But
for entertainment value on there, really, we have any cast of characters that could be interesting on there on this team,
right,
as it's currently constructed. Quarterback wise, no. Goff is boring as hell.
right.
Offensive line, maybe a little bit with Decker and Ragnow and Sewell. I think that could be interesting on that with it.
Right.
I mean, Ragnow, when he's done some of this stuff on social media, he's shown some personality and character and everything with it. The same thing with Decker. I think Sewell can be okay on there. We'll see about Hawkinson with it, but I think really it might be Amon St. Brown might be one to be able to pay attention to on that. DJ Chark might be one, but I think it goes with the basically the persona of Dan Campbell. I hate to say it because again, he's entertaining. He's goofy as hell at times on there with it, and I think aspect wise for us is just the way the players play for him, especially if you look at the last 6 games. They went 3-2-1 down the stretch.
Yes, they went 0.5 above 500.
Right. Which, again, of our 3 wins, they were I mean, the one thing is, yes, they went 11-6 against the spread and everything with it on there. But you know what? Based on who else was going to be,
they were less sucky than people thought they were going to be, but not by that much.
I knew they were going to be terrible last year, but I wanted to see how the team was playing, and I thought definitely the second half of the season, you seemed like, okay, they could have mailed it in. They could have caved in. They could have pulled a Jacksonville and just hated the guy on there, and it was like the anti-Jacksonville.
Well, that's because he wasn't doing what
he was his job.
He wasn't less miles. Come on, let's be real about this situation. You can't.
And I'm not sure who was the other choices for Hard Knocks this year. So,
well, that's my other question too. Is like,
can't keep having Dallas and Vegas every year. And
if they're a total train wreck or they got divas in there, they got whatever. You can put only a handful of teams in rotation, I think, and be okay. Content is content. What I kind of wonder would be what kind of content Detroit's going to provide, and I think you're right, Moose. It's going to be the clown show.
Right.
It's going to be the music. It's going to be the whole thing that is going to be that locker room with Dan Campbell running. Look, this dude, because I don't think that there's anybody that they're going to draft at 2. Let's say they stay at 2 and they draft at 2. That's all of a sudden going to be like a must-watch TV situation. So that's the first thing I looked at was like, okay, maybe they gave it to Detroit because we're a team that's on the rise. You got an eccentric coach, and you've got the number 2 overall pick.
Right.
So maybe they're thinking that somebody that they'll get.
They're trying to catch lightning in a bottle, and that's what it is.
And to me, there's almost nothing worth watching. So, like, to me, you have to be a Hard Knocks fan. Like, I like Hard Knocks. I like knowing what's going on behind the scenes. I like kind of seeing that stuff. So I'm going to watch it, and we'll see how Detroit is. And then they better hope to hell that somebody steals like a spotlight. Personality-wise.
I don't know who was it. I heard, like last year, they said it was just last year's Hard Knocks was terrible.
And see, that's another thing you're going to be battling. If last year's was really bad, then people ain't going to be in a rush.
I mean, the Vegas one was interesting because it was just the train wreck that was going on in Vegas.
Right.
On there with that. So that's what I thought that was interesting with it on there. But yeah, like, I have, with the Campbell, I'm still not I'm not convinced on there that he is that good of a coach on there.
No.
He may be a guy that these guys really like and they play hard for him and everything. Okay. Considering that we hit the last one, but when we had Patricia on there, it was just a train wreck.
You know what? So I'm torn, right? So, like, I want, him to be an absolute over the top. Like, there's two things that could happen here. He's either going to dial it back a little bit, or maybe he's going to go all in on his fucking goofy fucking woohoo act, biting kneecaps and all this nonsense. Because I just don't see how, in any situation, these show that when you do the show, that any of these cats are actually kind of like how it would be normally. I just believe when someone puts a camera crew and some lights up and follows you around and does a profession, you tend to kind of give them something worth watching. And as boring as some cats can be about quotes and what they say and what they do and what they get involved in, that won't be the issue here. So, like, I don't know. To me, with Detroit having Hard Knocks to me is all about the train wreck ability.
Right. Because
very rarely is there somebody that makes you like, go, ooh, look at, I got to see this person. It's okay. So, unless you're on a team with a transcending player, and I just don't know that there's that many people that would have that, be at a high level, have this transcending player, and would allow Hard Knocks in the mix.
Right.
So, like you said, as part of your argument, I don't know who they would, or they would even went. I think that's what you're kind of getting now. Are we the bottom of the? Are they scraping the bottom of the barrel at this point for Hard Knocks?
Actually, I think not, because I think it was between us and the Jets, and
right.
And I think the Jets are the bottom of the barrel. But I think what is HBO wants to kind of get new. They don't want to keep rehashing the same teams in that, so they were trying to do something new. And the difference between Salah and Campbell is just the personality wise on there. Neither team have much of a on there. Again, maybe we'll catch with, as I said, is with Ragnow or Saint Amman and on there. We'll see. I mean, St. Brown and that. We'll see what happens. But yeah, as two wise, I think the Lions are going to trade down.
Well, if they can, that only makes sense.
Well, again, today, yesterday, Brad Holmes said hey, we've already taken preliminary calls and contact on there. Guess what? 2's open. You know what? Who do we taking? I don't know. We've got a lot of guys we may take. Are you going to take a Craig? Who knows? We might. He's saying at least all the right things on there. Unlike, Quinn, who said, "Well, we're not taking a quarterback on there." Well, then nobody needs to trade with you because they know they got a quarterback sitting there because you're not taking one.
Right.
Campbell's like, "Hey, I'll listen. Who's on the table? Who are you drafted? I don't know yet. We got lots of guys.
Yeah, we need every position.
Will I listen to trade talks? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Make me an offer."
Yeah.
So I have a feeling they're going to try to trade. I have a feeling, again, somebody's going to try to panic on there and try to trade up.
Well, they always do. We talk about that all the time.
We know Carolina's going to try to draft a quarterback, and whether or not Seattle wants to jump ahead on there. If Carolina says, "Oh, crap, we're not going to sit at 6, we'll give you 6, and then possibly a 1 next year and a 2 next year and a 1 in 24, great.
Sure.
I'll just move down to 6 and get 3 number 1s next year. Then that way is if I happen to fall out and play 8 and 9 ball or 9 and 8 ball and I'm middle of the road, I got 3 number 1 picks. I can make those and jump up and grab that quarterback of the future that I need.
Absolutely.
With that. So at least I have of the Lions on there. Do I have the faith in Campbell? Do I have faith in Brad Holmes? Yeah, actually I do. Because here locally, we got the clowns under. Well, they're not making any run in free agency. We're not at a point to spend stupid money on free agent wise on there. Yeah. And I think it's a smart move. Sign guys on proven contracts, 1-year contracts, 2-year contracts. That's it. Guess what? We're going to be basically using the draft this year, and then we'll see what happens. And next year, we'll make probably a little bit of a splash in free agency wise, where everybody else blew the wad this year.
Right.
That's the smart move.
Absolutely.
But the more important news to break is we're getting the draft in 2024, babies.
Yes, and we will talk about what's going to happen there, what we're going to try to pull off, and we'll get into, of course, other football stuff. We got NBA.
Start me a GoFundMe account. We're going to start this for our bail fund.
Right, yeah, we might need it. We'll see how that goes. But, so we'll let's get a little bit of a break here. We'll come back. We got NBA, NHL stuff. We'll get into the draft a little bit. We'll brag about Detroit getting it, the crazy nonsense we might do there, if we could ever get there.
And again, what are the new uniforms going to be for the Lions?
Yeah, new unis. And when's the USFL nonsense start?
April 16th it starts officially.
So that's really close to. So we'll kick around a few things and anything else you all want to talk about on the other side. Why?
Because we are DSR2 Studio 57 Radio.
You're listening to Studio 57 Radio, your home for underground hip-hop, rap, and R&B. Studio 57 Radio.
Party people, this is the original Doc Ice, and you are definitely listening to Studio 57 Radio. And if Studio 57 Radio isn't on, then your radio ain't really on. Check that.
You're listening to Studio 57 Radio, your home for underground hip-hop, rap, and R&B. Studio 57 Radio.
Hey everybody, Scrappy here to tell you about That Radio Show. Hang with me as I break down the world of entertainment with great guests, celebrity interviews, awesome games with wonderful prizes. Also, we've got the biggest library of underground hip-hop of any station on the net. You mix in a little stand-up comedy and a text line so your voice can be heard, and you got a pretty good little show. But add listener-controlled programming? Yeah, you heard me. Listener-controlled programming, where you, the listener, can decide what makes it on the air. And now you've got the greatest show ever created. So join my show, your show, our show, the people's show, That Radio Show, each and every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, only here on Studio 57 Radio.
Hey everybody, this is your boy Big D, here to tell you about Mark for Life Tattoos. Guys, this place is the cleanest, most laid-back studio in Metro Detroit, and the artists are top-notch. And if you're like me from the D, you need to stop in on Fridays for that D-Day and get your old English D for only $20. Not interested in tattoos? Mark for Life does body piercings. Mark for Life is located at 22533 Van Dyke in Warren, and the guys are there 7 days a week from noon to 9. So give them a call at 757-2222. That's 586-757-2222. Tell them Studio 57 sent you and get 20% off. So what are you waiting for? Call them now.
Hey everybody, Smokey here to tell you about Allstate. With winter fast approaching, the most important thing between you and the road is your tires. So don't put your safety in just anybody's hands. Go to Allstate Tire. With new and quality used tires available, you can trust Allstate Tire for all your tire needs. You can visit them at 14208 9 Mile Road in Warren, or give them a call at 586-779-8759. Allstate Tire, your source for quality new and used tires.
What's happening, everybody? Scrappy here to tell you about Love and Life Club. Love and Life Club is a social networking club that's located at 19960 James Cousins. That's the Lodge Service Drive between 7 and 8 Mile Road in the D. You need to stop in for $5 Fridays for great music, food, and drinks. I personally recommend the chicken. Love and Life Club is also available for rental for bachelor parties, wedding receptions, or any party for that matter. For more information, log on to www.loveandlifeclub.com. That's loveandlifeclub.com, or call D at 313-999-2824. That's 313-999-2824. That's Love and Life Club. If you're loving life, you need to be in the club.
We are taking over this broadcast for the ultimate underground.
Studio 57 Radio Original. You know, when you hear that sound, you're gonna have a good time, because that's the sound of the ultimate underground live concert webcast from the Detroit area. We go to the most famous, or should I say infamous, venues in the D, and bring the underground music scene from the streets to your computer, like and nobody else can. There's only one catch. You never know when or where the Ultimate Underground is going to take over a broadcast. So you need to stay tuned to Studio 57 Radio all day, every day, for clues on when and where the next Ultimate Underground may happen. Now, there's no other station on the net that's going to give you this live webcast of some of the hottest artists in the D. That's the Ultimate Underground live on your home for hip-hop, rock and metal, Studio 57 Radio, baby.
Goodbye.
You get what you want, cause we got what you need. Studio 57, serving streets of the D. Recording, mixing, mastering, or great beats. We do what we do to keep you hot on the streets. You get what you want, cause we got what you need. Studio 57, serving streets of the D. Recording, mixing, mastering, or great beats. We do what we do to keep you hot on the streets.
Studio 57 is a 32-track digital recording studio that utilizes Cool Edit, Logic Pro, Shure, AKG, Sennheiser, Yamaha, Korg, Mackie, Boss, Ibanez, Fender, Fruity Loops, and many, many more to make your music pop. Experienced and friendly engineers make Studio 57 feel like you're home away from home. With beat creation, mixing, mastering, digital media conversion, and DJs for any event, Studio 57 Records is your one-stop shop for all your music entertainment needs. We have online bill pay and flexible payment schedules. That makes Studio 57 the place to be. For more information, visit Studio57records.com. That's www.studio57records.com or call us at 586-420-3390. That's 586-420-3390 or log on to Studio57records.com. And just remember one thing, baby. We get what you want because we got what you need. Studio 57 serving streets of the D. Recording, mixing, mastering on great beats. We do to keep you hot on the streets. You get what you want because we got what you need. Studio 57 serving streets of the D. Recording, mixing, mastering on great beats. We do what we do to keep you hot on the streets.
Party people, this is the original Doc Ice, and you are definitely listening to Studio 57 Radio. And if Studio 57 Radio isn't on, then your radio ain't really on. Check that.
You're listening to Studio 57 Radio, your home for underground hip-hop, rap, and R&B. Studio 57 Radio.
Yo, Rebels! Hour 2 is underway. I hope you all are ready. We talked a little NFL stuff, and we talked a little bit of the tournament. We talked a little bit of that, this, a little bit of that, and we talked a little of the Will Smith stuff. Of course, everybody's talking about that nonsense, but we are here to talk sports. One more hour. Well, about 55 minutes. We're going to get it in here. And there is, of course, more breaking news. Moose is over here, and he's going to give it to you here in 1 second. So let's get this thing rolling. Without further ado, let's do what we do here at DSR2. It is hour 2, and I am Scrappy, and here is the aforementioned Johnny the Moose.
Hey, we're back here for the second hour of DSR2 in case you missed it. We talked a lot about college basketball the first hour, men's, women's hoops as well. We got into some other aspects in the entertainment world as well on there. But we've got breaking news here coming from the DSR2 news desk on there. Again, breaking on there from 2 minutes ago. Tampa Bay head coach Bruce Arians is retiring from coaching and will move to the Buccaneers front office even as Tom Brady returns. And it looks like defensive coordinator Todd Bowles will be taking over as head coach.
Wow.
There we go. Bam. We broke it.
Wow, that's pretty wild. Wow. Bowles is going to be the head coach. I like that. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a choice that they want, but.
Well, he does have head coaching experience when he was with the Jets and that. So
Right, with the Jets. And it's not like he was a horrible coach.
No.
They were just a horribly ran team,
Yeah.
overall.
So, yep, Aaron's a long time, 50 years in the coaching and that, basically through assistant coaching on there as a head coach. His record is 80-48-1. Does have a world Super Bowl as a head coach, and he does have a Super Bowl as an assistant coach when his time as offensive coordinator with Pittsburgh. There we go.
Nice.
So,
Well, wish him well in his retirement. And what a way to go out, really. I mean, he got drawn back into coaching, I felt like, with the Bucs, but I think he'd say it was worth it.
I mean, he didn't get his chance till late in his career as a head coach on there. He really didn't get his. On there with it is when he was supposed to take over as offensive coordinator with Indy, and then was it the one coach there, former coach Chuck Pagano, got the cancer, and he took over that year. That was Andrew Luck's rookie year and got him to the playoffs. Then he got the Arizona gig, got him to the playoffs a couple times there with Carson Palmer, got him to an NFC Championship game on there. Then he leaves there, and he goes to the Bucs and gets Brady and wins the Super Bowl, and then this year they get to the playoffs again. So. But yeah, congratulations on there. And enjoy, the time down there in Tampa and relax and play some golf.
Yep. Exactly.
So there we go on there. So we got as we said is the draft is coming here in 2024.
Oh, I'm so stoked, dude. Like, I want to do something guerrilla if we have to, but I'm kind of curious of what the setup's going to be like. How many people from the public do they let in? What are pre-sale tickets like? Is there a tailgate scenario?
I know the outdoor wise they're going to do it in two different sections. They're going to do probably one down at Hart Plaza and the other one down over at Campus Marshes. So I'm not sure if they're going to set up a stage and all that down at where they're going to set up for announce the players and have the players come up and get their white man hug from Goodell.
Well, I don't know if we can totally get rogue, but I think we can get pretty close. So, like, what I want to do for 2024, I want to get in. I want to find a way to get us in there. If we can get in the building somewhere.
Well, it'll all be outdoors.
Yeah. Oh, so they're going to have it all set up outside?
Yeah, just like they did in Chicago and Philly and everywhere on there.
So we just have to get down in the area?
We got to get down in the area. When Nashville, everything was done outdoors. So if we can get close by, because they'll have the big screens and that, so we'll be able to do it. So I think it might be, weather permitting, it might be a little easier than we think.
Yeah, it is going to be easier.
Because it'll be all outside.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because we're completely mobile. I don't need to plug in anywhere.
No, we'll just make sure we got some battery packs with us and whatever. I mean, I'll wear the cargo pants or whatever and cargo shorts.
Yeah,
whatever.
I've got two that are actually climbing hooks. Look behind you, Moose. On that vest that's behind you, there's one right there. I got another one just like it. And you can just clip them on your belt loop. They just hang. Yeah. And so, like, we can, and then I've got the small mixing board, and your headphones already have a mic built into it, and I've got another set that does that.
I've got a Bluetooth set of headphones too as well. So
we should be able to plug in and work my small board that runs on a battery itself. So I think we'll just get down there, get as close as we can, and set up shop, and we'll do the show from the draft in 2024. That'll be fun. Because that's like been a goal I think of this show for a while, to be honest. We've joked about that probably every time we have a draft, about like doing a wedding crasher type situation with the draft. and getting in, and it might actually happen in
Right.
2024.
Yes.
Well, it's gonna unless someone arrests me for fucking running shit out on the street if I have to. Because honestly, I don't care if I do it from the inside of a car. Like, it doesn't matter, you know. I can make it happen. So pretty nifty. So, but for us, it's the Super Bowl, right, Moose? Like,
Right.
for if you're in Detroit, the NFL draft is like your version of the Super Bowl. So maybe we're a little more hyped than I think most people would be.
Not in this city. This whole city is just hype beyond.
That's what I'm saying.
others.
I think we're more hyped
yes,
here
than
in
any
Detroit
other city out
than
there.
any other city would be. To
I can
have
get.
it.
I
Yeah.
bet you over. I
That's what I'm
bet you on
talking
there
about.
for Thursday night. There'll be more than 500,000 people down there downtown.
I'm gonna have to take Friday off. That
Yeah, because we're gonna be down.
There's no way.
There's no way we're gonna be able to get out of there early.
no, I'm not even. I don't even want to at that point.
Oh hell, no! If we're down there, we're there till the last pick of the first round.
Yeah, I'm down there till like I just
1:00 in the morning.
I'm down
man.
there until I just can't be down there no more. Like either I'm too
So-
tired, it's too late, I got to get.
Or the
back.
cops say you gotta
The
go home now?
Yeah, or they say you got to get the f out of here. Like you ain't got to go home, but you can't stay here. Like whatever it is. So yeah, if I'm gonna go down there and have that whole rig, that whole outfit, I'm gonna go down there even if all our battery packs die and we stop doing what we're doing. I would still stay, you know, and check it all out and soak it all in. Take pictures and do all the video stuff for social media later. So yeah, there'd be no way I wouldn't want to be a part of that. So we're gonna be a part of that in one way, shape, or form or another. It's just gonna be that the way it's gonna look. But it's cool. We've got all the gear, and we can do the whole rogue pirate kind of radio gimmick where we can get up and we can go anywhere. I've got a small mixing board that runs on like a battery operated situation. We can Bluetooth any device we need to into it, so we have our audio. We can do the show like we normally do with our audio content, and then we can run it out of a tablet and use all our video like our graphics and everything. It won't be exactly the same because it'll be a different camera setup, but you'll hear us just the same. All the graphics around it will be just the same. Just the camera angle and what you see would look different. But who even cares about that? Nobody comes to the podcast to look at our ugly asses. They come to hear us be goofy and have fun. So that's what we're gonna do with the draft. So I know it's a couple years away, guys, but you know that if you've especially been a loyal fan, you know, Beer Can Dan, some of you guys that have been here a really long time, you know the drill. This is something that we always do the special. We always have the extended episode where we stay through the first round and we watch as much of the draft. And to watch it with a scenario, we just talk the NFL draft and football, and we goof and act silly, and we smoke cigars and have beverages, and we all hang out and clown around for what turns out to be usually about 2.5 hours or so of podcasting and kicking it and watching the draft and hanging out. And so this will be perfect for us because now we can do something even longer and go as rogue and crazy as we want, because essentially everything runs on a battery and is all pretty small and light, and through the beautiful world of technology we will be able to basically broadcast our usual podcast without any kind of issues for the most part. So it'll be fun. I can't wait to do it and get into it. It'll be an effing blast. So, but yeah, it's been kind of like a dream of ours to actually get there, because we always do the show, you know, we always do the extended show. So it'll be super nice to actually make that happen without having trouble. Could we consider going to the Cleveland one? So, which I think was this last one. Yeah, we were thinking anything that's within like a handful of hours, we'd probably go and crash it. But if it's going to be down here and they're going to do stuff outdoors, it'll be an easy one for us to crash because we've got all the stuff. So it'll be super fun. And in converse, really, I will be doing more of that stuff for the station as we will start doing podcasts and different shows from all kinds of different places. Because if I have that capability, I can actually do, more shows. We can get more stuff done. I can bring in more guests and do more different ideas and different things because I can be more flexible. So that's why we went with all that stuff. You saw some of the testing. If you watch the station, we put some of that stuff up, and you guys hung out with me while I tested some of the gear and ran through some of the software. So you get the idea with that. So we're gonna run with it. And like I said, I'll probably do that with other other shows and events and stuff. Maybe we'll do that more with DSR2 if you guys dig the draft episode, which I'm hoping you will. I would think you would, just because of the access we'll have. And I don't know how much I can get on camera before we start getting monkeyed with, but I am going to try to get some stuff on camera while we're doing the show, because you don't want to see our ugly mugs either. But we could show you maybe the layout and how some things look, and we can pregame. So yeah, that's how we would probably do it. We would probably come in, and there would be like a little pre-show where we'd walk around with a cell phone and we'd show you everything, and because the cameras are amazing on these cell phones, and we act like goofs and clown around and do a half hour or an hour there, take a break for a half hour, and then come back and do the full draft show when it starts. So I think we would do a whole big day of it when it comes down. So just stay tuned to the show and the station and all our social media, Studio 57 Radio across the board. We're on Facebook and YouTube, and you can catch us on Spreaker and Stitcher and SoundCloud and TuneIn and all these different places. But the social media stuff is where it's at. You guys know, and any kind of updates we'll have there. And of course, checking us out every Wednesday doesn't hurt. We thought we were getting close to summer here in Michigan, but we are getting second winter now. So we're not going anywhere too soon, but we do take a little hiatus in the summer. We take a little time off to be with our families and do stuff when there's nothing going on. But the dog days of baseball in the long middle part of the season. So we'll have our Midsummer Spectacular special and all that stuff, of course, all that coming. But so hang around, stay tuned, enjoy as we kind of expand stuff here at the station as well, content-wise. So there you go. That's all the... Oh, wait, one other plug, too. IWEgladiators.com. We're going to go do a show in Osceola for the Veterans Memorial Fund. So if you're in Northern Michigan, come hang out. Your entrance fees go to a good cause, and we try to raise some money there. That's a fun time. And Moose is back in the mix here. We were talking about the draft earlier. I kind of got past all that, Moose. I think it's time to get into some NBA action as we're getting there. This is it, man. We're getting to playoff time. It's all starting to pan out, and it is what it's going to be. And it really looks like the Lakers are on the outside looking in.
Yeah, they're now the number 10 seeded team in the West, which puts them out.
Yeah, so I just, I feel bad.
No, they're the number 11.
Yeah, see, I feel bad having this conversation because it leads to sounding like an asshole, because what in the F did you all expect? We said, I kind of hate doing this.
We were probably the only ones to say it on there, especially
at the time.
At the time, we were the first.
I think everybody right now is saying, okay, yeah, they're not shit, or they're not going to be able to do that. But we told you from Jump Street here at the show, we've been pretty staunch about it. So I hate doing that. I hate going the whole route of, we told you so type of situation. But the Lakers, they're not built. They're it's a horribly ran team. It's a horribly built situation there. And I just think it was all inevitable. It could have come unraveled fucking way quicker. And the story isn't that they are losing. I think the story is if they actually win a game at this point, you know? So I hate to beat a dead horse, and I think we'll just kind of move on. But the Lakers ate themselves from within, imploded like we said they would, and it is what it is. And ain't nothing going to be different next year unless they can completely restructure that team. And I just don't see how it can be done in a season or two. So Laker
they
fans,
don't have the salary cap to do it.
That's my point. And Laker fans, welcome to mediocrity at best. At best.
Because, we're not making the playoffs. We get a lottery pick. No, you don't.
No.
You trade that away.
Yeah.
22's gone. 23's gone.
Yeah.
24's gone.
You're going to 27 or something, right?
26 is the next time they have a free number one.
I thought it was 27, but 26 is long enough.
Jesus. That's still 4 years.
You mortgaged 5 years away for one.
Yeah.
Basically.
You basically hamstringed your franchise for the better part of a decade.
Yes.
To get that bubble title.
Yep.
Is it worth it? I hope so.
Yeah, I hope you feel like it's worth it because you're talking, like you said, you're going to be hamstrung for a decade before you can turn this thing around, and there's no saying that you're going to do it. And now all this talk about, LA being the play-in team, the Clippers. Lakers ain't even going to be there.
No.
So, but there's a lot of good teams in the West, man. Don't sleep on the Nugs. Don't sleep on Memphis.
Definitely.
Like, no one wants to fucking play Dallas right now. Like, so the West is a murderer's row right now too.
I mean, you got.
I don't care.
Phoenix is weathered the storm. They're 9-1 in their last 10.
Yeah, well,
and now CP3's back.
Yeah, and if he gets the dust knocked off, early here, which I expect he will, that's the team in the West to beat. And it's going to be a tough out for everybody. But I'm telling you, I'm going to be watching a lot of the Western Conference. We talked about it earlier in the season, Moose. I know that the Eastern Conference has gotten better. It looks a little bit deeper or whatever. But it's just that it's deeper than it was, not necessarily deeper than the West. When it comes to matchups and watching these games, I think the West has still got that edge, right? Like you can break down team by team and make an argument that the East is good, is catching up. But when you watch just when you start looking up at just pure matchups, the Western Conference is going to be a fun ride, and I'm here for it. It's going to be hard because those games are late, but I'm going to work because I don't usually. It's hard, man. I have to admit. The older I get, the harder it is to stay up for some of these Western Conference games. But I think it's going to be worth it this year, even more so than in years past, not because I'm like a LeBron hater and he's out and I hate the Lakers, woohoo, they're down and poo. No, it's just because it's more and more the NBA is mimicking the NHL in the way their playoffs kind of lay out, right? Where you have an 8 seed that can end up in a final or a conference final or whatever, and I think that's uber possible when you look at the Western Conference.
Right, and the one thing with the NBA, I don't even know if an 8 seed's ever won a first round matchup ever. Unlike the NHL, where it almost happens like every couple years or every other year almost.
Right.
It seems like.
But when I look at the West in the NBA, it looks more possible than ever, I guess is my point. Because you have like that kind of parity.
There could be on there.
More than I think we've had in quite a while.
I think there's more of a chance to say if Brooklyn was the 8th seed or 7th seed, I think if Brooklyn was the 8th seed and Miami's the 1 seed on there's a shot that Brooklyn could pull together.
Right.
On that.
Yeah,
but
I was talking
for
West.
like the West on there, I don't see the Clippers beating Phoenix right now.
No.
I don't see Phoenix. I don't see the Clippers, if they're the 7th seed, beating Memphis right now. So,
But
on it, but I could definitely see Brooklyn possibly. So
yeah, but it's going to be good. But like I said, I think the Western games will be what I'm focusing on a little bit more. Brooklyn's happy, of course, now because you've got Kyrie 20, for every game. I just, some things just feel like a work, man. It's like, okay, yeah. That mess with Kyrie and all the way it was handled, it's still, and now in the end, it doesn't matter. Now he's going to play all his games,
right,
and it's going to be what it is.
Well, no, actually, if Brooklyn has to go, say when Brooklyn plays Toronto, he can't play.
He can't go. Yeah, he won't be able to go there. So there'll be a little bit of that, but I don't know. It's just a weird dynamic, and that's been disappointing. It's just been disappointing to watch that whole situation because that would have made the East a whole lot, to me, a little bit more, just that much more fun if they're on all cylinders and there isn't all those distractions. So, but overall, man, it's been a pretty fun season for the NBA, and I'm excited for this playoff. But man, it's gonna be hard to stay up for them late games. You gonna be up for them late games, man?
Yeah, probably not. I'm old.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I can't. It gets harder and harder, but I think there's going to be too many good games. Not to do. You know what you're going to do? You're going to wake up every morning to another highlight reel. Like Sports Center will just be nothing but Western Conference NBA games.
Oh God, yes.
Because you wait. These games are going to be 130 to 125.
Yeah, there will be no defense whatsoever.
It's going to be insane.
Also the NBA. What the hell happened last week with Jimmy Butler and Spoelstra?
Oh, I'm not 100% because I didn't catch it when it happened. So like I only caught a little bit of them talking about it, but I didn't really follow up on it. So I don't really know.
Butler, man, like lost his mind. He was pissed about something, and Spoelstra was pissed at him, and you had Haslam trying to work. Hey,
keep him
on there.
Yeah, I heard about that. Haslam was and Haslam is the guy that's been there forever, right? Like he's been there probably longer than anybody,
right? Yeah, he's been there his entire career. So, yeah,
I mean, but he's longer than coaching, longer than the players, longer than a lot of guys.
Yeah, how long? Haslam's been there forever. Yeah. Well, Spoelstra's been there for quite a while as head coach of that. So.
Yeah, but I think he was there even before him.
Well, Spoelstra was an assistant coach at the time, I think, when Haslam got drafted.
Okay, yeah. So he's been around a long time. Anyway, oh, jeez.
Was it because Haslam was part of that great University of Florida team that won back-to-back titles? I'm going to say him and Joakim Noah and everybody, all those guys.
All right. They brought this chick over from WWE. She dipped out, didn't want to be there anymore, and they released her, and now she's over here at AEW. She's a mystery opponent. A lot of people thought. They like bring her out. I'm not a fan, so don't really care. She can work, but I'm not a fan. She's a little weird. Like I don't know. I don't know. I don't get it. I just don't get it. So. But it is what it is. Not everything's for everybody.
So yeah, I mean, we'll look on there. There's a couple cats out there that have been, I mean, like last night here, our own Pistons end up losing a tight game, end up losing in the fourth quarter to Brooklyn on there. But Cade was balling.
Cade's
you look at the last month, he's been
I was about
balling.
To say, the last 3-4 weeks, he has been absolutely on fire.
I mean, Durant went out of his way to pray. He says, dude, these guys watch.
Yeah, right.
He's like, look at you watch these guys. They're good. He goes, they just got to they're going to put it together.
Yeah, it's just a matter of when.
He just basically had nothing but praise for he on there. So the way you look at Wade Cates, I mean, again, he was injured in the beginning. So when he got his feet under, he's exactly what we said.
Yeah. This is the thing. When you are a young player and there's nobody else around to kind of carry the team around and kind of, and you're left to kind of do a lot of stuff and learn on the fly that way, it's just a lot. So it just takes a little longer.
Yeah.
But in the end, this dude is going to be unflappable, right?
Oh, God, yes.
The shit he's going to go through this early and young in his career. He's not going anywhere as far as the Pistons are concerned. I'm sure they're going to keep him around.
Oh, God, yes.
For long term and build around him. So I would imagine that those leadership skills, all the different hardening that he's going to go through, will be worth it. Now, the key for the fan base is, can you be patient enough to let this thing unfold, and do you trust ownership to get the right, personnel, whether it be players, coaching, etc., behind this guy throughout his career? That I have a little bit of a concern with.
I have a concern about whether we have the right ownership on there. Troy Weaver actually has done pretty well in his trades and his everything with it. Because, again, I think the Marvin Bagley trade looks genius.
Yeah, it looks good.
Because the way Bagley's been playing coming off the bench, and he seems to have a great rapport now with Cade and everything with it. Bagley's been balling, too, since that trade.
Sure, absolutely.
If he could stay healthy, I think we're okay.
Well, if he stays healthy, he's a great, like you said, off the bench, a good six-man situation.
Yeah,
for him,
it adds some depth to us, and it gives us some size.
Yes, you can have matchup issues, which is always nice to have, right? If you have a matchup advantage anywhere, that's super cool. I mean, that's kind of what Draymond does for Golden State, right? Like they as great as they all are, they're so much different when they have somebody that has a mismatch issue in some position or another. And like if you can add some size and have a mismatch issue somewhere, that's gonna help. Like, so I'm not saying he's like a Draymond type, because Draymond would be a starter on any team, but to have a guy that can have an advantage somewhere on the court, come off the bench, like you said, that depth is invaluable, really. So. I like it. I like the core of young guys that they got. I'm not like real angry about like their drafting or free agent stuff or whatever. Like it doesn't stand out as horribly bad or anything. But I am a little concerned about coaching situation.
Yeah.
And then with ownership being the way they are, it doesn't really matter how great like management and GM kind of makes moves and does things, because in the end, you can always have like a Jerry Jones situation where ownership says, "No, we're not doing that," and you don't get it done, and then that can be frustrating. So, like, I do have a lot of concerns and worries about, whether they handle this right or not, because this could very easily be a situation where his time here is wasted, and I mean Cade and some of these other guys. So I don't want to see a Lions type situation, but it feels like there's a potential for that here, and I am concerned, but we'll let it kind of play out. I want to see how things start going next year. If we're just repeating this year again next year, I'm gonna have a fucking problem.
Yeah, I think, yeah,
because we can't repeat what we did this year.
We've got to make a run, basically, because they're going to have a lottery pick. They could they'll end up with a top 5 pick on there, and we'll get on with it. Yeah, but again, by being that you had 2 lottery picks on there back to back, and with the core the way down there, they better make a playoff run.
That's my point. Like, none of this mediocre bullshit.
I don't want at the bottom of these. I want you guys battling at least.
You're going to go from 20 wins to 40 wins, and you're at 40 plus wins, and that's a lot to ask. But that's what it's going to take.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah, I better see 40 plus. I mean, I better see somewhere between 40 and 45 wins next year.
Yeah, I mean, for me, yeah, it's, they should be in that 40, 45 win category and in that playoff situation. I felt like I wanted to see that kind of maturation this year, but there's just no way that was going to happen. But like you said, with all those picks, man. If they do, or at least the high picks, if they don't get this thing on track, I'm gonna have a huge problem next year. Like I said, I don't expect them to be winning championships or even really contending, but I expect a significant change. Like I said, if I go from 21 wins to 43 wins, that's what I want to see.
Yeah.
And that's a lot to ask, but hey, man, like this is a what have you done for me lately? And they haven't done shit in what will be 2 decades.
Yeah, because the last time they were any decent was over a decade ago.
Yeah. You're talking like
2009, 8.
Yeah, I'd say 6-8 is what I was thinking, because after the championship year that they kind of fumbled and missed, so 06, I think they just kind of started to come undone.
Well,
so
06,
was it 08? Was it 08 the year that they kind of bowed out?
Well,
even though the refs kind of tried to help them out a little bit, and they still kind of bowed out to Cleveland a little early. Wasn't it 08?
No, well, 08 we went to the Eastern Conference Finals, but we lost to Cleveland.
Okay.
But that was where LeBron went off, and you go, Jesus, what the hell, dude? And they're just standing around like, whoa, look at what he's doing on there. That's pretty much was the end of that with it. And then I think after that, that's when they started breaking up, when they traded Chauncey for Iverson and everything. So,
because I was at one of those playoff games that year, and I just felt like I was watching a team that had no business winning games, and the refs like even kind of helped them and nudged them around, and they got outclassed pretty good. And that was pretty much the end.
But yeah, I mean, I don't want to hear anything about. We guys on there, we picked the right guy. Aren't you happy we didn't take Jalen Green?
Oh yeah, I mean anybody that's still...
the only other guy I would have taken besides K was Mobley. And then you look on there, and those are the top 2 guys for the rookie of the year. Mobley's not. He's kind of ran into that rookie wall in that, but their team's a lot better than what the Pistons are.
Right.
They're defensive wise, he's still very good defensive wise, but you look at offensive numbers and taking command of the team and everything. Especially the last month, it's not even close. Cade's just like kicking it into another gear.
Yep, absolutely.
And it's what we said under. He makes everybody on the team better.
Yeah, and that's what you need from your leader.
You look what Sadiq Bey's been doing now. That did the last month or so.
Sadiq Bey with a fitty burger we talked about.
Yeah, I mean the way Marvin Bagley's been playing on there, having Killing come off the. He's coming off the bench, Ned. Is he scoring? No, I'd like to see him get a better shot at it, but he is at least distributing the ball better and everything with it, running the point aspect.
Yeah.
So.
Well, in the way the team's currently constructed, that unfortunately is a better situation for him. I kind of was hoping for more from him, but
we really need is a 3.
Yeah.
A 3 or a stretch 4.
Yep.
A real stretch 4.
Yeah, well, any team in the league wants that stretch 4. I mean, that's like the unicorn.
Right. And again,
because you can use them basically
do they go
everywhere.
after, I mean, we'll see on the draft on there. And again, I think he's got to put some serious weight on there. Is Chet Holmgren from Gonzaga. He's a 7'1" guy that can basically shoot threes on there. But he's too damn skinny.
Well, and that's a problem. And then once you get over 7 foot, you're kind of labeled a freak, and so there's mobility issues and limitation issues and all these things that these cats worry about. So like, I'm all cool with getting a big guy, but I need a little bit of meat on them bones.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you're going to be a big guy and you want to stroke the outside shot, I need you to be durable too.
Yes.
Because at some point in time, you're going to have to go in the block, or if not, at the very least, you're going to be moving a lot more than big guys, 7-footers typically do. So
yes.
I want a little something on it, but
So,
anyway.
and we got NHL action going on here. Right now, Wings are tied with the Rangers in the 3rd. Wings, actually, a little news here locally is got rid of longtime Zamboni driver, kind of operations manager of on there with them is Al Sabaka. After being with the team for 51 years, they fired him.
Dude, that is so crazy. I've been doing this show for 12 or 13 years, 13 or 14 years. I'm 45. I'm going to be 45 this year, and that dude's been driving a Zamboni
He's
longer.
been driving a Zamboni since we basically have been following the wings.
I mean, it's crazy. His name is kind of synonymous
with the Stanley Cup run.
Yeah.
Al Sabaka, basically, when they throw an octopus, he's whipping that octopus around. And
like he's just kind of a cultural icon
Yes.
here in Detroit hockey lore, and that's not the only thing, Moose. Like, tell the real story on that.
yeah,
Because-
I mean, he said I got fired without basically telling me why.
So he feels he got fired for no cause, and he has filed a lawsuit.
He's contemplating filing legal action.
That's just how far have we fallen? What the hell just happened here? Like, you wake up one day and your uncle's suing you? Like, it's just, you know what I mean? Like, that's what it feels like. Like, how does this?
I want to know who fired him and
this
why.
happen?
I mean,
Yeah.
again, was it Eisman? I don't think Eisman's I don't think he oversees that kind of operations of the.
I doubt that he cares
Little
who the
Caesars.
Zamboni driver is. Like, so
He's
who
known
makes that
Sabaka's long again. Almost
decision?
his
Sabaka's
entire-
been there longer than he has.
Yes, I mean, again, Sabaka was already there better than a decade when we drafted Eiserman.
I know. So I don't know why he would care about that. Although Eiserman did look angry when I seen him that day, but anyway,
dude, it's you should be angry at Blashill.
yeah, right.
That team's quit on him.
Yeah,
I mean, that 11-2 game showed that they're done playing for him.
Yeah,
he needs to basically move on.
Yeah, he needs to go, and that's going to be the big thing here for NHL Red Wings off season is to show me you give a shit. What are we doing here?
Yeah.
What are we
Right.
doing here with this team? I mean, what a joke it's kind of been.
There's only two guys on this team that are untouchable.
And I know Eiserman is working his ass off, and his magic that he put on Tampa is still shining.
Yeah.
So I have faith that he'll get it done, but like I need to see from other parts of this organization that they're supporting his ass and making this thing right, because you can't either that or strip that Hockey Town logo off that goddamn ice.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't market this place this way and have them be this bad for this long.
Right. No, you got to, on there. But yeah, they're going to have to move on there. But yeah, I mean, if, for guys inquiring about who can I pick up on there, there's only two guys that I say no. And that's Raymond and Cider.
Cider, yeah.
Cider's a basically, you know what? I'll get it. No, there's nothing you can give me for Cider. Nobody. You better give me Connor McDavid and Cider.
Yeah, exactly. And
yeah, because again, I got a 20-year-old defenseman on there that's basically going to win the Calder and probably could be in a running for the Norris.
Yeah. Yep.
With it, and again, it's still the Florida Panthers right now in the East. They're up. They're tied with the Carolina Hurricanes for best record in the East. And out west, it's still Colorado. Colorado's got a 12-point lead on the second place Calgary Flames.
Yeah, it's not even a.
And again, NBA, we've only got like a handful of games on there. We still got like 13, 15 games on there for the in the NHL to go. So the NBA is going to finish before the damn NHL is. Oh no, wait, they take like weeks off between games.
That's the issue is the way that the league, the NBA, the association kind of separates things, especially when it comes to the playoff time. Like, they drag that shit out.
I mean, dude, we don't need 5 days off between the games.
Dude, I don't, no offense, and I don't want to sound like an ass, because you have to be in great physical shape to play basketball, but out of all the sports, it's not the one that I think of having so much rest in between, right? This isn't football. This isn't hockey.
Hockey doesn't get that. You're every other day.
I know.
The only time is maybe 2 days is if you're in the finals and you're going east to the west coast.
Right.
And that's only for one time.
Sure.
That's basically, instead of every other day, it's 2 days. But the basketball, we got 5 days off.
What?
For what?
Yeah, I know. Well, we're going to take a week off, 2 weeks off before we even start the playoffs. And then it's like, what are you doing?
So we got on there. But yeah, I mean, right now is Tampa's like fourth in the East, but they got like 90 points on there. Pittsburgh, again, how the hell is it? Ugh. So.
Well, there's always a team that overachieves. It's just too bad it's
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh. Oh.
Although here in Detroit, we shouldn't be so like uber happy that Colorado is doing so well either.
Yeah, but everybody's gone from
I know,
Colorado, so it's not even.
It was that squad.
I mean, you don't even have Patty Roy even coaching him anymore. Remember, he quit and walked off or whatever.
He's a bitch. He did like he did when he was a player.
Bitch.
He was the biggest bitch.
He was.
He was a soccer player in a hockey uniform.
Yes, he was a fucking king. Yeah, again, yes, he was such a. I mean, I always hear about, he was the greatest goalie ever. Dude, he's not even Montreal's greatest goalie of all times. He's 3.
He was so weak mentally, like he was so affected,
and we were in his head rent free.
Oh, dude.
We chased him out of Montreal, and we basically chased him out of the Game 7 on there. Dude, they pulled you in Game 7 because you gave up 6 goals. By the second period.
Yeah, we ran you out the building. Yeah, it's one of those things where he kind of exposed his his weaknesses there between his ears from an emotional, psychological, mental, whatever part of the game. He could I don't know, dude. And he just, so that doesn't, none of that's like exactly what I expected. It's more surprising if he doesn't if he doesn't, F that up. So I'm not surprised as a coach that he walked.
So you were talking soccer, and actually got to bring this up, even though I'll never talk about it. But it was like 2 days ago, the World Cup qualifier between Egypt and Senegal.
Okay.
Guys go for a penalty kick, blows the penalty kick, and Egypt loses, and Senegal. Reason he blew the kick, he had probably like 35 laser pointers shining in his face.
Oh, wow.
I mean, they showed a picture on there, and it's like you see green lights everywhere. Laser pointers.
That's crazy. How did they let that happen? Did you burn his eyes out?
Yeah. So obviously FIFA's looking into that. Like, we got to look into this one. It's like, how the hell do you allow this? If I'm a referee and I see that, like, boop,
time out.
Boom, red card on here. Otherwise, bullshit. You know what? Pull the goalie. You get a free kick with no goalie. This is bullshit. I mean, but
telling you, that's messed up. Not even just from like the game standpoint, from a physical health standpoint, those those things will fuck your shit up.
Yeah.
Like, you're gonna blind this guy because you don't want him to make a kick.
Yeah.
That's crazy. You're gonna destroy this guy's life because you don't want him to make a kick. I mean, all those cats should be prosecuted.
Oh, yeah.
That's what they need to start doing because of what those fucking laser beams do to your eyes. Every one of those cats should be prosecuted for assault.
Thus, the term soccer hooligan. Again.
That's what I think about that.
So there we go on there. That was our soccer moment. It was just
because
that was just because I saw all these green on there. I'm like, what the
It is.
And then I read the story. I'm like, oh, you got to be kidding me.
It is fucking very rare that we break out a soccer story. So, yeah, it's going to have to be something in those respects. I was watching a YouTube video, and this guy he starts doing everyday things as certain athletes. And he would you do the basketball, he'd be like dribbling and everything and spinning around, and he'd do it with everything. He'd be like doing globetrotter passes with like the remote control and like just all these mundane things that you do during your day. And then he did the soccer player, and he's like jumping up and like flipping fucking pillows back onto the couch and spot from the floor, like soccer style, and throwing stuff up and then bicycle kicking it into place, and he's doing all that shit. And I'm like, well, where do you get blown out of your shorts when like you got fucking shot out of a cannon when someone just walks by you? And I was waiting for it, and all of a sudden he comes walking through the kitchen, and his wife barely brushes him, and he blows himself back into the kitchen. I lost my shit. I'm like, there it was. It was the very last end of the clip, the last 2 seconds of the clip. I was like, yes! Because I was mad it wasn't there. I'm like, the whole clip was worth that spot right there.
Oh my god!
He got blown. Yeah, he like threw himself in the air like he got fucking blown out like by Goldberg or something. And his wife just barely brushed him as he walked by in the kitchen.
You need a kid to walk in with a red card.
Yeah,
red card. I'm better.
So funny.
Yeah,
it was so funny.
You're not athletes. You're actors.
I was like, God damn it! Like, I am too old for TikTok, but I have to admit some of those videos are pretty fucking funny.
Yes.
I
If you
think
get
people
a
get
good one on there, it's like, okay, I can. All right.
All right. Kudos.
Thumbs up.
Yeah. You get
Over
a.
there.
I'll tip a hat to you, my friend.
On there. With that, I mean, and let's see what else is on there. Oh, yeah. Baseball needs to fire Rob Manfred. Oh, you know what? They need to jettison him into space because this freaking clown, you're the latest. What he wants to do to help fix the sport.
Well, why don't they just burn the whole sport down? Go ahead.
They might as well. I mean, but on there. Again, he wants to move the pitcher's mound back a foot.
Back a foot. Why? What's the logic between that?
I guess he figures the pitchers won't be on there and there'll be more long balls. Well, you know what? Let the guys just shoot up roids again. You know,
why do you want him to be so
there's
far
that.
away?
And then he's talking about making the bases from 15 by 15 to 18 by 18. What for? The 3 inches so the guy can slide into first.
Well, I think that was on the table with the union. I think the players wanted bigger bases,
probably so they don't interfere as much when they're running like we would the first baseman. That might make sense.
So that I want to say was some of those things were worked out.
That might not be, but then he wants to move second base up like 4 feet.
Well, I don't get all that.
No longer.
So now,
no longer will it be a perfect diamond. It'll be like, like a trapezoid.
But why the fuck would you want your home plate? If you did both, your home plate and second base would be right on top of each other.
Yeah.
If you move it back,
I think right now it's like what 9 under. So
they would be 5 feet closer to each other. Because you move it back a foot and you move them up 4.
Well, no, the home plate would say where the home plate is. His pitcher's mound would be almost right on top of second base.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Pitcher's mound would go back a foot, and then second base would come up 4 feet. So your pitcher's mound and your second base would be fucking on top of each other. They'd be 5 feet closer.
Right.
Why do you want your pitcher that close to second base?
That's the kicker.
That seems weird to me.
So yeah, normally like second base is like 127 feet from home. If you go like that by
so let's move everybody back, and then I'll just bunt all.
But
the
then
time.
they'll move it up on there, so it's like stupid.
Let's just bunt now. They'll move all the if they're gonna move all the, and they're gonna now I'm gonna.
How about just basically tell pitchers you got to pitch count. Batters, no in and out, basically readjusting your damn gloves. You're in the batter's back, stay in the damn batter's box. And you know what? Maybe we have to do the damn electronic pitcher. I mean, strike zone.
Yeah, those are all the issues that I think plague the league. If they don't go to some of those and utilize some of those ideas, that's the problem. All this other shit doesn't even make it's pointless.
You know what? You could do certain things on there. I mean, when baseball's a game's good. It's great. And people are like, well, I want run scoring. I find the 2-1 pitchers duel great. I mean, if there's good defensive, great pitching, I'll find that fascinating. You go, oh, shit, that's really good. But again, I don't want to see, these stupid 7-inning doubleheaders on there. I don't want to see that.
Yeah, I know.
I don't want to see it. Oh, yeah, extra innings, like the guy's on second. Seriously. Dude. And we all know why, because Manfred's a stooge for the owners, and that's that.
It is what it
but
is.
He's a terrible stooge.
Yeah, well, the problem is I just don't get why the baseball union is so, wields no clout. Like, what's the point?
Well, the baseball union involved, the sport unions on there has the most clout.
Well, then why the fuck?
Well, he's talking about whether that'll get approved or not is beyond me on it. But it's these stupid thoughts and on this the concept. Like, did you actually talk to anybody that on it with it? But it's beyond me on it. But it's just stupid as hell.
Yeah, it's like crazy. So. Anyway, shifting gears, segues for kids. We love I guess there is a little segue here because we want all these rule changes that'll improve the game and the pace of play and all that other stuff. But switching gears to the NFL and their rule change.
Yeah.
What's your point? What's your take on that while we get close to the end here?
That, again, I don't like.
To me, it's silly. Like, okay, so you're gonna change the playoff, and they're gonna get equal opportunity. Like they had an opportunity.
Well, they had.
They put 11, didn't they? Did they not put 11 guys on the field just like the other dudes?
Play a little defense.
Can we play defense? Can we? So let me get this straight. So like we just incentivize defense. If I win, I'm gonna defer. If I win the coin toss, I'm now going to defer.
Right.
Because that's going to change how I attack this game.
Right. Because now I know I'm going to get the ball.
Right. I know I'm going to get the ball for sure. And if I can stop you, then all I got to do is get a field goal.
Right.
And then if you get a field goal, then I know I'm going for the touchdown.
Right. And if you get the touchdown, I'm going for 2 points.
Right.
So again, I'm deferring.
Yeah. So like now at this point, their big mode of contention is, well, out of 10 out of 12 coin tosses, they win. Well, what happens when it's 9 out of 12? Because they defer.
Okay, how about we just get away with the coin toss, and whoever has the ball at the end of the fourth quarter gets the ball exactly where it is in overtime.
And you just keep going.
Keep going. Just like if you're in the third and fourth quarter, boom.
Yeah.
Stop them. Play a little defense.
Yep.
That's the way I look at it. I didn't like the fact that, everybody gets a shot at it unless it's a touchdown. I'm like, how about play defense?
Yeah, no, you run out of time, just flip the field, man.
Yeah.
That's what I would do.
Flip the field.
Flip the field and continue playing.
Playing it on there.
Yep.
Stop them.
Yep.
Play defense.
But the only situation with that is now it has to be a set time.
Yes.
So now, is there enough time? And I would rather do that. I would rather say, all right, you're going to have a 10-minute overtime or a 5-minute overtime, whatever it is.
Because again,
it's going to pick up from here.
Whereas, like
because you've had enough chances.
Who has it best on there? The best overtime rules, especially when it comes to playoff time? Hockey does. Sudden death. What is it then? When someone scores.
Yep.
Do we go multiple overtimes? Yep.
Yep.
4 overtimes? Yep.
Yep.
20 periods. So you're playing more than a whole nother game in overtime.
Sure.
Which again, playoff overtime, especially you go, man, it's just freaking awesome.
It is.
I mean, especially you get we watch those games that go till 2 a.m, triple overtime.
Yeah.
You go, we see the Stanley Cup final in 02 against the Carolina.
Yep.
Triple overtime. And Larry off, all of a sudden just boom,
Yep.
scored. I'm like, and that was great because we're over at Scotty's house and he had to go to the bathroom, walks in the bathroom, and Larry scores the game winner.
That's awesome. That's epic.
so-
Oh, yeah, I'd have been mad too.
But again, they had to do it right on there. And I don't know. I mean, just.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of it. I guess in the end, I don't really care. I just think you've crippled the defense. You've taken the defense out of the game now to a point where no one even wants. Like, I don't know. And now it is. We could just call it. It's all about the quarterback.
Yep.
The only reason they did it is because one of their quarterbacks that they had out there didn't get to touch the ball. And now they're going to make it so he can touch the ball. But is it really fair if the other team stopped them?
Right, stop them. Play
Right.
defense.
Right. Yeah, if you can't stop them, why do you deserve that opportunity? So I just think it's a little convoluted there. So, here this guy's going to just dive on everybody.
And that's how he's going to lose.
Bleh.
So, yep. And then we'll end it with the Buffalo Bills get a new stadium. Of course, the taxpayers are on the hook for $850 million of it.
Dude, come on, man.
You have a billionaire owner. He can't on there. He said he'll pay for any overruns or whatever on that. So again, but
See, this is the issue with that. Is you got multimillionaires and billionaires, and they can't afford to. They want the taxpayer to pay it, even though they might not even watch their product or even give a shit about the NFL. And then they want to charge you so much you can't take your damn family to the game. Because, let's be honest, if you have a family of 4 and you make $50,000 a year, you're not going.
You're not going to a game.
You're not going to a game.
The way you're going to a game, someone gives you tickets.
Yeah. So it's just like it's one of those things, man. Like I don't know.
Yeah, and it's not even a dome. They're not even putting a dome stadium in Buffalo.
Well, this is the other fucking thing. The NFL, talks all this, wonderful stuff, but then they charge the military, for
To put the flags and the flyovers.
Yeah, and it's like, what the fuck are you guys doing, man? Like, I don't know, man. It's just they're so douchey, and then you got millionaires and billionaires asking for for money, and then they take money from everybody else, and then they want your taxpayer money to pay for it. Then they charge the fan base so much they can't get in the damn building. Like, it's just so backwards to me. And I'll never be for taxpayer funded stadiums.
No.
Never.
That's why I said is
not even partially.
Then it's the problem. I think the only owners that's actually paid for his own stadium was the late Paul Allen when they built the Seahawks stadium.
Sure.
Of course, then again, he was worth like $60 billion, but he's like, no, I'll pay for it myself. We'll implode the old one, and I'm going to build it exactly where the old one was. And that's where they played a couple years at University of Washington down in Tacoma.
Right.
But yeah, they're not even a dome stadium in it. And I guess, I mean, I know it's Buffalo in it, but dudes, put a dome stadium on there, man, for you with it. No, we're gonna leave it open. I mean, come on, do I really want to play Buffalo January? But I understand. Put a retractable on there. What is the weather outside? It's 15 below zero. Open the window. Open the ceiling.
Yeah. Well, that's what I like. Like, you could have a distinct advantage if you wanted at any given time. So I don't know. But yeah, you definitely don't. I don't know. Yeah, you're in 3-degree wet. Let's have something going on. I don't know.
I don't want to be sitting in that shit.
I wouldn't. I sure wouldn't.
I do want to get the Lambo, but
but it's just one of those things where the experience, right?
Yes.
You gotta have that one.
You gotta
experience.
go to Lambeau once.
Well, it's the same thing like we were talking about earlier about getting to the draft, man. Like, it's our Super Bowl here, but I just want to have the experience. It's just the draft, but I want to have the experience of being there and going and seeing what's going on and seeing the production and all that. And it'll just be kind of a podcast dream for us because we always do our special show here, and now to be able to do it from there will be fun. So we've got plenty of time to get ready for it, and we'll have it all mastered and figured out because, as you guys know, I've been doing the testing on the station and the page, and we're ready to go already. So like by the time it gets here, we're gonna have some fun. So yeah, I like all that craziness and stuff, but I don't know. We shall see. It'll be fun. We'll continue to bring you craziness and more debauchery when we come back here next week, same bat time, bat channel. But please, the whole, we joke about the violence isn't an answer and the whole Will Smith thing in the opening. And I'm just going to kind of close with that same kind of thing and just be like, no, it isn't the answer. Make sure you tell everybody you love them every chance you get. Be good to each other all the time. You just never know if tomorrow's going to be here or not. But if it is, we will too. We love you guys. Be good to each other. We'll see ya.
Peace out.
You're listening to Studio 57 Radio, your home for underground hip-hop, rap, and R&B. Studio 57 Radio.